Hello, Guardians. Welcome back to Tower Casuals, the Destiny podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Corey Dirrig, and alongside me, as always, is my favorite art director, Josh Finney.
Jesus Christ.
Hi, Josh.
Hi, Corey.
How are you this fine Thursday evening?
I mean, I was fine before I had to start doing investigative sleuthing through 8-year-old art pages, but here we are.
Oh man, what a
bad.
disaster!
It's so bad. It's so bad. We're gonna go ahead and jump straight into the shit. Well, I know this is Tower Casuals, but we got to talk about Marathon a little bit because I think this affects the future of Bungie as a whole with what's happening at the studio tonight. Earlier today, there was a very deep. I want to pull this up so I make sure that I am adequately stating this correctly. Twitter user. This is why I wanted it pulled up. 4NT1R34I posted a detailed thread calling out Bungie and Marathon's art director Joe Cross. According to the poster, the recent Marathon closed alpha is filled with graphics, patterns, and designs lifted directly from poster artwork she created as far back as 2017. Guys, I've looked at it. No bullshit. Absolutely no bullshit. This is lifted directly from this person's online portfolio. It's not even attempting to hide it. You can see the watermark in one of the alpha assets. It's so fucking bad, dude.
Not good.
I don't even know how to say this other than they're fucked.
Not good.
They're fucked.
This is not great.
You cannot explain this away. There is no humanly possible way to explain this away. It is just genuinely awful. It is, man. So I have N Squared is their actual like name on here, which is hilarious that everybody is now following them. I checked them earlier and they did not have these kinds of followers. I'll put it this way. Just Joe Cross was the only person that I followed who was following them before all this. Imagine that.
Yikes.
But oh, Jesus Christ, it's so bad. It is. This thread is damning. She posts the direct comparisons that you can see here, and I mean, it's not just like, oh, here's like a little bit that way. No, they lifted things directly and put them in here. Now, can they take this out? Sure, but I mean, some of this is like in like fucking status bars and shit, dude. It's so bad. Like some of there's symbols in here. It's rough. They say, Marathon Alpha recently released and its environments are covered with assets lifted from poster designs I made in 2017. Bungie, of course, is not obligated to hire me when making a game that draws overwhelmingly from the same design language I refined for the last decade, but clearly my work was good enough to pillage for ideas and plaster all over the game without pay or attribution. And we've already read the other two from this. This is just damning. This is damning. I 100% would donate to a legal fund for this person.
This is not good. I'm looking at it for the first time right now.
I mean, it's not good is like maybe the biggest understatement that we could say right now. This is not great, Bob, as the kids would say.
Yeah, this is yikes. Yikes.
There was a quote tweet that I saw earlier that I really, really, really wanted to find. Somebody that I follow in the Bungie art community, pretty heavily, Everdrift, wrote, y'all need to be aware of this. It's disappointing to see this happening for at least a third time from Bungie. The other two times, if you are forgetting, One, we had a piece of artwork directly lifted and used as part of a seasonal cutscene last year, and then there was the whole thing with the Nerf Ace of Spades also. That those are the two off the top of my head that I think this person is talking about. Um, do, 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 do. Um, a lot of this was like used in the marketing too. Like it's not just in the alpha, it's also in the marketing and whatnot. And that seems to have been handled by a third party. Kerpa Hosk, I don't want to throw them under the bus until we have like explicit confirmation that they did some of the lifting. But when it's in the game, that is coming from the top. That is coming from people inside Bungie. Whether that's Joseph Cross who authorized that, or it was just an artist who lifted that and thought they would never get caught. This is the third time it's happened. There is a fucking problem at this studio. I don't have a nicer way to say that, and I don't want a nicer way to say that.
I mean, they should be held accountable. I mean, that's is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. I'm looking at some of this stuff that's on, I mean, just on Twitter, you know, and then there's a image a couple posts down in the replies that have Kerpa Hosk tagged in them, and then it's
which I think is really silly. Until we know for sure, I would not be running and throwing them under the bus just yet.
Right. I'm trying. There's an image replied to that with side by side comparisons, but I don't know if it's actually them or not.
I've seen the same ones. I do think that, I mean, it pretty clearly all got pulled from the same place, but
I mean, the images clearly, yeah, but I'm trying to figure out like where the origin of the stealing came from.
Right.
I mean, it's all bad, but
yeah, it certainly is not good.
This is not good.
No. And this person pretty clearly absolutely made sure that they had their ducks in a row before they went and said something out loud.
Yeah.
Which I'm very, very happy that they did that and didn't just seemingly jump to a conclusion.
Right.
But yeah, God, I really wish I had saved that.
I mean, even this person's website in there.
Yeah. I mean, dude, it's so obvious. You look at their whole portfolio, it's so clear they ripped it off.
It looks just like Marathon. You would think this was Marathon.
Yes. So, yeah, all my previous praise for the art style goes to this person because holy shit, like it's so bad. I have not seen something this blatant in a very long time, like in games media. I would have to go back. I mean, I'm sure there's been other examples, but for me, this is on the same level as, oh my God.
Philip Mewson from IGN.
Yeah. That's who I was thinking of. Philip Mewson was who I was thinking of. This is on par with that as far as I'm concerned. Like, not only and I'm sorry, like, even if the art director did not directly approve this got into your game without you realizing it, you deserve to lose your job. You should never work in games again.
Or even if you did approve it, like,
if you approved it, then that's fucking criminal.
Back checking like where this came from, right? I mean, I guess like again, as like it's like a management type person, you should be able to trust your employees to come up with something right without stealing it. But also, like, this is bad. I don't know. I don't know what the right answer is for that. But this makes everyone involved look bad, except for the person that was stolen from. I mean, this is this is unbelievable.
I wish I could, and I mean, like, that was my reaction at first too, was that this is unbelievable. Nerd was texting me about this morning. He's like, holy shit, I think this is the death of Marathon. And I was like, I had just been sent this maybe 20 minutes before. And I was still looking into it, still doing my research. And I was like, I'm gonna hold my horses just a tiny bit. And he's like, well, this is like the 5th time this has happened or something. I was like, man, I genuinely could not remember the other 2 instances. But he brought the Red War thing to me, and I was like, well, so that one I think is a little bit different. That I'm gonna call bullshit when you wait 8 years to come out on something.
Yeah,
I'm gonna call bullshit on that.
Right.
but there's no way to like ascertain whether that's true or not. Unfortunately, that person's probably just going to get a settlement to just shut the fuck up. It's clearly a money grab. I'm fine with that. This is not. This is completely different. This is like the other two things. This is totally different, but this is on a much grander scale, obviously, than inserting a piece of fan art for your cutscene, which also I don't know how that fucking happens without getting caught either. Really, you can't go to the art team and be like, hey, who designed this? We just want to know so we can attribute it properly. Right?
Right.
Like, you can't, you should know automatically where your art is being sourced from if you're the art director. And then your products team obviously dropped the ball on Ace of Spades. This, I don't fucking know how you do this. I'm again. I think this is it. They're cooked. They're fucking cooked.
This is not great.
No, I went from wanting to support this game to until I get a not even just an answer, but okay, I finally found the thread I was looking for. Okay, um, this is from somebody who I believe has worked with the artist in person. I want to say that. This is from Twitter user Billion. Dear Marathon graphic design lovers, it's time for me to burn some bridges. Because thanks to the daily poster stolen and put as textures in the game and many assets utilized, you have created Anti-Real the game, which I think was a game they were working on at some point. I don't know if it ever came out or if it is being worked on or whatever. I could not ascertain that. But it has a lot more comparisons than the original artist tweeted out. This is why I was looking for this. Um, Fern's anti-real poster making a big portion of actual ASC 2 in-game menus and briefings. How do we know that this is a poster stolen? Well, just take a look. We have screenshots sent to us by people who had an alpha game, and if you really need proof, and you can see them in-game. The most egregious one is one with there's a green box that says 28, and I mean, when you look at the side-by-side comparison, it is a yellow box that says 28, anti-real daily series. The boxes and lines up above are the exact same shade, depth, etc. The arrow was done exactly the same, and you can clearly see, this is the one I was talking about, where you can see the text was not even fully removed from the box. Even if the text was removed from the box, this would still be damning as far as I'm concerned, but you would at least have a little bit of plausible deniability.
Mm-hmm.
This entire game is going to have to be combed by lawyers now.
Yep.
This game is not making it out in September. I will be shocked if this game releases. I think you're at a point where, is this sunk fallacy? The brand is now tainted. Like, the fact that your entire art direction for the game was fucking hijacked. Whoever stole these assets, again, whether it's at the top or it was some mid-level designer or an entry-level designer or whatever, even if it's someone who's no longer there, like, this game is tainted forever now. This art style is tainted forever. The only way you save this is by doing a complete pivot and ripping it all apart and tearing it down to shreds. I have never seen something on this level in a video game. Not that I can remember, at least. Stealing an entire fucking art style, that's a new one. That's a new one. The above posters are from Fern/Anti-Real, but since I was a member of Anti-Real too, there were collab posters and even shorts. Franchise art director Joe Cross seems to be enjoying the video dives on a wider level. Blah, blah, blah. I do not need names found on assets to assume that we have been stalked insanely by Joe Cross for a long time. There's links to their shorts. I haven't watched these at all, but I'm going to take their belief here. I will close with this, and it's an archive of Anti-Real's work. This existed for years. No one in the games industry or film industry hired anyone. Anti-Real became a Pinterest for these corporate games to claim our hard work as their own to earn quick money and settle small collaterals. Disgusting. I remember two things. Joe and a few other members of Marathon were following Anti-Real on Twitter. And that Marathon Marathon is going to release an art book. Can we at least call it the art book Anti-Real instead? So you can start speculating if this was from stock files or generated. The guy followed us. Social following equals graphic awareness. You be the judge. Yeah, this is fucking bad.
Yeah. I mean, even if you were using this as like I mean, a lot of marketing pitches use like stock images to show like a concept or whatever, right? And like,
Yeah.
okay, but
I mean,
like,
there are direct
I
tracings
mean,
in this game.
yeah,
It's so
you
bad. And I'll say this, even if you were using them as stock images, the fact that you let an alpha go live without removing stock images, if they ever were, because we've seen there's evidence in the fucking
no,
marketing.
I'm talking about when they pitched this game
Oh, I
before,
know, and
like,
that is very common in a pitch deck. We should
yeah,
make that clear to everyone. That's common in a pitch deck. It happens all the time. We've seen that from AAA studios who have done that
hmm
because it just doesn't. The concept doesn't exist there yet. It's one thing to be like, hey, I saw this and I'd really like to use this as inspiration. That's one thing. And I think if it's a distinct enough art style like this, maybe you reach out to that person and be like, hey, we'd be interested in talking to you a little bit about like what made you tick on this. Maybe like give them a consultant fee or something. You're going to spend hundreds of millions making this game. You're probably going to make hundreds of millions off of it. What's a $15,000 consulting fee?
right.
And I'm just throwing an arbitrary number out there. I don't actually know what it would cost for somebody to consult on something like this.
I mean, something like this would probably be a mid five figures.
I mean, sure. I guess I'm just going back to like
Especially if they're going to consult long term like this. I
right.
don't.
I would say like if this was like the art style you decided you wanted, say like 4 or 5 years ago, and you were like, hey, we just kind of like want to know what makes you tick. Like I think obviously you pay them in installments and this and that. You when you get them more and more on board. But like just to be like, hey, we don't want you, and I mean I think that's when you have legal come in and be like, we don't want to be accused of stealing your work. Right.
Mhm.
But the fact there are direct tracings in here is so unforgivable. There's so many examples. I would not be shocked to see Joe Cross get fired in the next couple days. I think Sony Legal is going to have to go through this. But just
Oh, they're definitely going to have to go through
A1
this.
Johnny messaged me about this about 10 minutes before we hit record and said regarding the live stream tomorrow with Joe Ziegler, imagine coming in and taking over for fucking Christopher Barrett and then this happens to your game.
Right.
Because remember, it had this art style before Barrett was fired.
Right.
So yeah, like what do you even do there, dude? Cross has not tweeted since May 4th, by the way. The last tweet that he made, kind of poetic, was about Kerpahosk, about the identity, custom typography, ARG campaign, and much more. And oh man, the replies are just not they're not good.
I'm sure they're brutal.
They're not good.
They're
really bad. And
what a mess.
if they do go through with this live stream tomorrow, which I'm 99% certain they're not doing that live stream now. You can't do that live stream, actually. Now that I say that out loud, you can't do it. Like, you have to know that if you go in there and do a live stream, that's all you're going to get bombarded with is questions about this.
Yeah.
And just we're going to let legal handle this is not going to suffice this time. Like,
yeah.
Sony has to be thinking, because this is the third time since Sony bought the company that something like this has happened. They have to be thinking this is almost too much for us to be bothered with at this point. I genuinely wonder what the future of Bungie is. Like, this is damning for a studio, and it should be. I want to be really clear. As much as we love Bungie, this should be damning for you. You deserve to have your feet held to the fire. You deserve to be criticized and ridden into the sun over this.
Yeah.
Because this is not an innocent mistake. It is clear that there is a culture of doing this at Bungie at this point. It's not just the Destiny team. It's not the products team. Now we have the Marathon team in on it.
Yeah, this is...
It's all across it too. Like, it's in the marketing also. So if you had an outside group handling it, that meant they also were lifting it. So it's not just your studio doing it. It's also outside vendors doing it.
Right.
Just, what are we doing here, guys?
Yeah, I don't even know what to say now. Like, it's It's gonna be ugly, I think.
Oh, this is going to be real ugly. I was just looking at the team that they used to see if they had done anything, but they haven't put out anything about Marathon like ever. So I was looking to see if they had posted anything.
Man, this is gonna be
Ugly to say the least.
Yeah. This is gonna get real weird real fast. So if you are a Bungie fan, brace yourself.
Yeah, it's only been 10 months since our last round of bullshit. So brace yourself.
This is not good, Josh.
It's indefensible. So I'm gonna keep talking in a circle though. If I keep on this, there's no other way to say it. It's indefensible. You guys can go look at the comparisons yourself and judge it, but it is night and day. This artist is being remarkably calm and kind about this. I would not be. I would be just blowing this person up. I'm not gonna lie. I'd be blowing up Bungie Legal.
I mean, we don't know what they're doing behind the scenes, right? Like this could also be like a stake if they're talking to lawyers or something, which I know they said they don't have.
Yeah, they cannot afford legal representation. I guarantee you there are people in this industry who are like, "Hey, we'll fund you."
Yeah.
Oh, and I mean they have a Ko-fi link in their profile also.
Yeah. I mean they could also like seek guidance but not console, right? I mean that could be something, but I don't know. This is yeah, I don't know. We're gonna keep talking in circles, but
I will say I'm looking at their Ko-fi link right now, and I just want to read a couple of the comments here. Here because of what's happening with Bungie, hopefully they'll make it right. In the meantime, I can only join the others and give you a little piece of what you deserve. I love your art, man. Fuck Bungie. I don't have a lot to give right now, but your art's an inspiration to an amateur like me, and I hope you get respect, compensation, and recognition you deserve. This is the amount I would have paid Bungie for the game. I'd rather give it to you. Happy to pay you a tiny fraction of what Bungie should have if they have even a scrap of integrity. Sorry, your amazing art is getting stolen by a AAA studio. I know it's not much, but your art's amazing. Please keep up the good work. But yeah, almost all of this is all within the last hour that I'm reading, by the way, too.
Jeez.
Yeah. Oh, it's rough. It's real rough.
I can't believe more people aren't reporting on this.
I mean, I think that people wanted to do some investigation first because this is not the first time we've heard it with Bungie. There is a pretty big lawsuit going on right now over the Red War campaign, and I think I kind of disregarded it at first too, until I got sent the direct comparisons and did some looking into it myself this evening.
Mm-hmm.
So, like that thread that I was reading, that is fairly that's within the last couple of hours. That was at that was 5 hours ago. Yeah. That was 5 hours ago. So
right.
Yeah, I mean, just you can go there's so many people donating to the Ko-fi that you can't even go back further than an hour. I've looked at like the top 50, 60 responses or the most recent ones, and you can't go back any further. Even since we've been talking, 4 more comments have been added to their Ko-fi page. Mm-hmm. So roughly all the same things. So,
well, I hope this person gets the compensation they deserve, because that's that you can't I mean, do
even the logo on their Ko-fi page was something that was lifted.
That's
so like just let that sink in for a minute. That was something that was lifted and is a symbol in the game. It is a symbol in game. In game. And it's exactly the same. Yeah. So we will be following this anytime that it gets reported on. We will talk about this either here or on Xbox Casuals, because this is about to be maybe the biggest story of the summer. So Nintendo just sitting here very quietly. Nintendo and Microsoft going, thank God somebody fucked up bigger than us in the last week. Thank God. Really saving us from these price and piracy discussions.
Right.
So.
Oh yeah, because Nintendo. Said they could break your console if you were caught pirating or whatever.
I have many thoughts on that one, but I will save them for another place since it's not directly Bungie or Destiny related. We were having a discussion about it the other night in Discord. Some of us were, and yeah, I have my own thoughts on that. A lot of which will make people upset because I'm looking at it from a business perspective and like not to suck off a corporation, but like I kind of get it. It is,
I mean,
within their right to do that. I don't think breaking the console is necessarily the right thing to do, but also should be pointed out that yes, that is what the wording says that they will do. Bungie, or not Bungie, God, Nintendo has never taken action against people who mod their consoles. This is for people who are trying to like circumvent online servers and hack the online servers and things like that. This is not people who are going to, I'm going to go mod my Joy-Cons or something like, or I'm going to mod the shell of my Switch. Like, they're not coming after you for that. They probably don't even care if you mod the fucking memory inside. They care that if you're doing illegal shit.
Right.
That's what they care about. So, that's the long and the short of it. Game prices are another discussion that we've had 15 million places. Not going to get into all that tonight. We do have some Destiny to talk about. We do actually have a lot of Destiny to talk about. Corey.
Lots of Destiny,
because I want to get done talking about Destiny so I can play more Doom: The Dark Ages.
By the way, before we get started, real quick, you brought up a game, so
Expedition 33. I'm sure
playing Expedition 33.
That's game of the year,
dude.
It's game of the year so far.
It's good.
It's running away.
It's real good. It's real good. I'm like, dude, I want to be done with this episode so I can go play it while this episode processes. Like,
it's one of those games that I'm playing in chunks right now. Like, I play about 2 hours and then I put it down for a few days and then I come back to it. I love the game. I want to be really clear, but the parrying and dodging system has just continued to be a cheese grater on my nerves the further and further I've gotten into the game. It just gets to a point where you're like, okay, I'm fucking done with this.
Does it get worse? Does it get bad?
Dude, there are fights where you are parrying like 30 attacks in a row without a chance to attack. I'm not even joking. And if you miss even one of those, you're dead. So, yeah, it's pretty rough. It is one of those games where you have to learn the patterns, and that's really where like the FromSoft inspiration comes from. And I like that to a degree.
Yeah.
It becomes just jarring after a while. I'm wearing out my right bumper. I'll put it that way. My right bumper is going through a lot of abuse between this and Marvel Rivals. So,
yeah,
you can very clearly hear it clicking, and I will be buying a new controller here fairly soon just to use on games like this. Yeah, Expedition 33, the best story in a game so far this year.
It's really good.
I truly do not understand how this game was made by 30 people. By a core team of 30 people. I don't understand.
Right. And the soundtrack was made by someone on SoundCloud and like...
Yeah, they found the game's writer the senior writer of the game was found on Reddit.
Right.
So...
it's good. I highly recommend it if you're into like JRPGs with a little bit of action-oriented.
Yeah, I've said it on Xbox Casuals last week, I think, but this game is kind of like you took like Persona 5, Sekiro, and like Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth and threw them into a blender.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of with like a dash of the French. Like they threw a baguette in
French,
there too.
Dude.
They threw a baguette in there while they were at it.
Dude, it is very French. Every name is French.
I love those. I love what the senior director of the game was saying about this, though, what the studio head actually was saying. And saying that he got the inspiration for the game while working at Ubisoft and realized he would never be able to make a game like this at Ubisoft for, obvious reasons. And that is not, before we all jump on it, that's not a bad thing. Okay. But realized he would not get to make a game like that, and most of the people he recruited from Ubisoft were like junior designers, writers, developers, etc., who had never worked on a game before, who had never like done significant work on a game. And I do think some of the claims are a little outlandish, like, "Oh, it would have taken 30 years for me to get this game made at a AAA studio." Like, okay, let's cool our jets just a tiny bit here. But Sandfall's been incredible. Kepler has been a great publisher. Kepler has done several very good games in a short amount of time. They also published Seafood. They published Flintlock last year.
Tchia, they published.
They published Tchia. They published Scorn.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, they've done very good in a short amount of time. This is by far their biggest game. It's not even a question. It's their biggest game.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, this game.
There's already a movie being made. So
is there?
Yeah. The producers of the Sonic the Hedgehog movie have acquired the rights to it. They're already looking for a director and the cast.
I mean, if I may, Gustav looks just like Robert Pattinson.
I love that, but I mean, like, he's voiced by. I need Charlie Cox. I need Charlie Cox to put a wig on.
I'm sure if he put a long hair wig and grew out a thick mustache.
Just because, like, if you're going to go through the trouble of casting, like, him and Andy Serkis in this, then they need to be in the actual movie also.
Mm-hmm.
Our buddy Ben Starr is in this.
He could totally play that character, too. Ben Starr could play that character on Lives.
Oh, Ben Starr is so good. I love him. Like, you talk about, like, the voice actor that, like, when I see him in something makes me want to play the game, it's Ben Starr.
Yeah, man.
Go play Expedition 33. Even if those games are not your jam, it's on Game Pass. It's literally on the best game of the year is on Game Pass.
I will buy this game at some point just to support them.
I will too. It made me really wish that I'd been able to get the collector's edition with the music box, but alas.
There is I'm waiting only because there is now a rumor of a Switch 2 version. And they said it would, if they did, there are opportunities out there, but if we make a physical edition of a game, it will all be on the disc or the cart. So,
yeah, I'll be buying this to add to my library of RPG favorites.
Yeah,
it's one of the few Game Pass games that I actually want to buy because it's not a game key disc essentially.
Mm-hmm.
It just is. It is the game, which is the biggest reason I haven't bought a lot of Microsoft or Sony first party games.
I mean, why would you buy a Microsoft first-party game at this point? And on disc?
I mean, in all honesty, because I like to support teams. I like to support teams that make games that I like. That's why, like, even though I'm not buying the game, I tend to buy the premium edition upgrades so that I'm like, I'm going to buy the DLC anyways. I'm buying it. I'm supporting the team at least.
Yeah.
I know that, like, Game Pass, like, obviously does pay out the developers, but when it comes to, like, first-party stuff, I feel a little weird still. Mm-hmm. So for something that I know I'm going to play and enjoy, like Doom, I bought the premium upgrade for Doom, knowing that I'm going to play those campaign DLCs. I did the same thing for Indiana Jones. I did it for Starfield. I famously did it for Avowed and then didn't play Avowed. So, but I've said, not to make this a Game Pass rant, but I have said like that service makes me want to invest in games that I like more.
Yeah.
Like if Oblivion ever got released on disc and the full game was on the disc, I would rush out and buy it. Because that's my favorite RPG ever. But I will instead settle for my original launch day collector's edition, which is still on my shelf. Back when it was still rated T for teen.
T for teen.
T for teen. And God, there's been so much good artwork that's come out for this game, for Doom and Elder Scrolls.
Mm-hmm.
There was one of it was the Nord from ESO and Doomslayer doing the handshake meme.
Nice.
It's great.
Did you see the that company that's doing that Steamboat Willie shooter?
I did. I saw Mouse PI.
Yeah, that one.
Mouse PI put one out. The Age of Mythology team did one. I thought that was really cool. It's a little like Age of Empires 2 style Doomslayer.
Ooh.
On it. That's a cool little poster. Yeah. Lots of good stuff right now. I think after Doom, with it now out, we get to kind of take a breather for a few weeks. I say a few weeks because it's going to be a really busy summer, but you know what's leading the charge in all that, Corey?
Destiny.
The Rite of the Nine. God, now this is a fucking event, man. I was already enjoying it. And then we all went down kind of a roller coaster of emotions this week. Really enjoyed the first week. Got my ultimatum clear. Played it on all 3 difficulties, so I wanted to see what the challenges were like. Man, that match made mode is going to be so good for people who have never dungeoned before. Or even if you just want to like learn the mechanics, you can go in, you can load in solo and do it. You know, you have the options to go do these things, and it's really good for getting those solo strats down, I think. But even if you just want to go do it with a team real quick and get a 20-minute clear and get some free loot along the way, I think it's great. I think it's a great idea. So I would love to see this implemented in future dungeons and raids going forward. I think this is a really, really helpful exercise to have that. But maybe like in the future, let's not let you earn the exotics from the match made mode. I think that cheapens it a little bit. I'm not trying to gatekeep exotics, but I think you should at least have to do it on the normal difficulty.
I mean, that's fair.
I also like that we obviously only have Spire the Watcher out right now. I really like that Spire has been updated also with different mechanics for shooting the boxes in first boss and final boss. I like that. It's more of a puzzle. You have to shoot them in a specific order. I like that. That kind of adds a little bit more urgency to it. And also, the DPS phase seems to be a little bit more extended there on that first boss. I like all that. What I don't love is the modifiers. God, the modifiers are rough. Last week, it didn't feel nearly as bad as this week. This week, it's attrition and the pools of Vex milk that appear when you kill a Vex.
Vex milk.
So both of those combined make it really, really annoying. It's not great. We have plenty of healing tech now. So I don't like hate it, but I definitely had to lock in more this week than I did last week. I'll put it that way. Even with that, we were still getting almost to a 1 phase on the big harpy boss. Nice. Consistently. Like we were like maybe 1 heavy shot each off from getting the 1 phase down.
Nice.
So would love to get that down eventually. They did hear our complaints though, because when we logged in on Tuesday, I think we were all really disappointed. We were all expecting Ghosts of the Deep, and it didn't happen. Like we all expected a rotation, but the fact that they did that, then DMG says, "Oh yeah, we're gonna do Spire for 3 weeks, then Ghost for 3 weeks, then Prophecy for 3 weeks, and then the last week is gonna be all 3 unlocked." All of us are like, "This is bullshit. This killed enthusiasm so quick for this event that they had to do a pivot last night." And I want to make sure that I pull this up because I want to get this in here accurately from when I tweeted this out. That's a long ass statement. Starting today, the Rite of the 9 dungeon calendar is changing. Each dungeon will be featured for 2 weeks as opposed to 3, and we are increasing non-airy manifold currency drop rates, which can be exchanged for additional weapons. With this change, Ghosts will now launch next Tuesday, May 20th, followed by Prophecy on June 3rd. Great little birthday present for me. Prophecy dropping on June 3rd, almost just in time for its 5th anniversary.
Ooh.
And the 5th anniversary of Tower Casuals as a result.
Ooh.
We started the show that very same week. Alongside the above change, the second week of a given dungeon will also feature increased weapon drops, where rewards can drop from any enemy defeated during your dungeon playthrough. Hollow foils included in this as well. For this week, we are rapidly working on an update that will turn on increased weapon drops in Spire until Ghost of the Deep becomes the featured dungeon next week. We'll let you know when that's deployed. I believe that is not active yet, but I think the Naneri manifold drop rates were increased, and that went out today already. Starting June 17th, all Rite of the 9 dungeons will be available to play at any time on any difficulty, and increased currency drops will be active for all 3 dungeons. Each week, a featured dungeon will have increased weapon drops. This will begin with Spire on June 17th, followed by Ghosts on the 24th, and ending with Prophecy on the 1st. On July 8th, Lootapalooza will begin. All 3 dungeons will have all reward bonuses enabled for the final week of Heresy, alongside a new way to spend your Naneri manifold currency. We hope this gives all Guardians ample time to hunt for hollow foils and adepts as they prepare for the Edge of Fate on July 15th. Genuinely, a W so big I had to kneel. This is awesome. Bullying works. I want it known. Bullying works. That was the only thing that I could say last night. Bullying works because this happened last year during Pantheon and during Into the Light. It's happening this year. I don't know who at Bungie did they consult Joe Cross on this horrible decision to feature a dungeon for 3 straight weeks. Are him and Pete Parsons, are they the ones who signed off on this?
Jeez.
Maybe Pete's car curator, were they involved in this decision making also? Because I think anybody with a pulse who plays this game could tell you that was a terrible decision.
By the way, Bungie is now trending on Twitter, by the way.
Yeah, it's never good.
This.
It's never good.
There's a reply to this thread that we were talking about at the top of the show. Bungie be like, AI is for chumps. Real pros just rip the artists off directly.
Jesus Christ.
Yikes.
It's harsh, but I'll allow it.
I don't know who Josh Powers is, but that was a good rip.
Yeah, that's it's a tough look. It's a tough look. So, yeah, this is a huge W though. Like seriously, I'm really enjoying already grinding for weapons. As soon as the increased drop rates are live, though, I'm going to be right back in there grinding out first and second encounters to get those weapons because, man, I need those adepts. I will say, at least this is all happening during a loot pool that a lot of us just don't care about. Spire's loot pool, I don't think is anything to really write home about, honestly. I made sure that I got a decent liminal vigil out of it. I got a couple of adept drops there that I don't hate. I don't know if I love them, but I don't hate them. I'll keep them stashed away for a rainy day in case the spirit moves me to go play with them. But for right now, I've got that. I've got a couple long arms stashed away. That's the one I was really excited about is long arm. I do like me a cowboy rifle. I don't know if you know that about me, Corey.
I do know you like a good cowboy rifle.
I like a good cowboy rifle. Got me an adept shiny Wilder Flight. Pretty excited about that one. I know it's not like the greatest in the world, and it's a double fire. I don't really love double fire breech loaded grenade launchers, and I think Johnny said this the best when we were talking last night. In a world where I have a legendary Wither Horde at home, why would I want to use this?
Right.
I agree, and he's somebody who actually rides really hard for Wilder Flight, but I got Slide Shot, Frenzy, Demolitionist, and Bait and Switch on this. It's not the worst thing I've ever seen. I'll probably keep it just because the hollow foil on these weapons is sick. It looks awesome. So, pretty excited about that. And oh man, I think some of my I do have one long arm. I think the others all got deleted. But the long arm that I do have, I have rapid hit, redirection, subsistence, precision instrument on it. I do like pretty much all of that on one of these. I think that's going to be a lot of fun, especially in Crucible. I'm really, really, really liking cowboy rifles right now. 120s, kind of the only scouts that you can reliably use. So digging that. I like that you can tell on the icon right away that it's a shiny because of the 3 golden lines that show up for you. That's a nice little change that they've made. I don't know if that was always there, but it's definitely there now. Specifically for these weapons. I don't think the shinies from this season have them. I'm looking real fast in my vault. They do not have them on there. It's a little annoying, but enjoying that. Got me one of the machine guns, one of the Terminus Horizons. Don't feel great about it, but Ricochet, Reconstruction, Killing Tally, and then Ricochet, Reconstruction, Rolling Storm. I do like Rolling Storm on that, just as a thing. But man, high impacts just do not feel good right now in this game. So a little annoyed. Overall, I should say high impacts that are not Thunderlord feel bad. But yeah, all that aside, I'm just kind of like, okay, I'm in a holding pattern because, like, Ghosts, I kind of care about the weapons in Ghosts a little bit, but it's the week after, or 2 weeks after Prophecy. When Prophecy goes live on June 3rd, I'm going to be feasting. That's the one that I got a chance to play early. It's the one that I like the changes in the most so far that I've seen. Obviously, we haven't seen the changes that are coming to next week's, but goddamn, I can't wait. This is going to be so much fun. I think that this has just been, it's been a great event so far. I was talking with Nerd. He said this is pretty much exactly how he thinks that events like this should be handled. And I have to agree. I do think that this is kind of your template, so to speak, of how these types of events should go.
Yeah.
I think the loot's generous. It would feel a little bit better if these weapons were craftable. I'll say that. I think that's the biggest difference between this and Pantheon was Pantheon not only had craftable weapons, it had weapons you actually gave a shit about. Like, if you didn't have good rolls of those weapons, if you didn't have the patterns, or if you just had never had a chance to go get the adepts, Pantheon was an incredible experience. I think it was amplified if you were enjoying getting those drops. You know, I went from having only a handful of raid weapons craftable to pretty much everything out of the featured raids being craftable by the end.
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely think that makes a difference in terms of the enjoyability of an activity. I think that makes you feel like you're getting more loot when you are able to craft things, or there's more cosmetics to chase. Right now, there's a handful of emblems. I don't really know what the emblems are coming up, but we know there's a few emblems. There's some cutscenes you can view from collecting these little golden engrams, which you can go get on any difficulty. You don't have to do it on Ultimatum or Eternity. You can go do it on Explorer and get them. You know, you can do the weapon quests that give you a guaranteed shiny on Explorer. So they're letting everybody have a chance to get the loot. I don't necessarily agree with giving away and I guess I don't agree with giving away adepts or giving away the exotics on Explorer difficulty. And that's something I said at the top. I'm going to maintain that. It also just feels really weird looking at it. Your options that you have are Navigator, awesome exotic. Hierarchy of Needs, slightly less awesome exotic, but getting a buff in Edge of Fate. We found that out today. And then the Gallarhorn Catalyst, question mark?
Mm-hmm. Bum, bum, bum.
It just feels really weird that that's the catalyst. I do think that's the only other thing I would have argued for is Prophecy in its rework should have gotten an exotic.
Mm-hmm.
Especially with this being a 9-themed dungeon and the 9 about to be taking center stage. I would have argued that one of the top 3 or 4 dungeons in Destiny deserves an exotic. I don't know. So I definitely have thoughts and opinions on that one, but overall, like, just my complaints are so small. I think this is an awesome event. I think it's going to get a lot more people interested in the end game going forward too, which is really, really important.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, I'm glad this overall seems like a good event.
yeah, they've definitely been they've been sticking the landing, so to say. I've really, really, really liked it. They say in the TWAB this week, goal with Rite of the 9 is to challenge more invested players through ultimatum mode and reward them with adepts and hollow foils, but we also want to empower a part of the community that may not have experienced dungeons in the past. Hopefully this experience makes everyone more comfortable when jumping into the next raid and dungeon we launch. So definitely like that. We read a statistic on this show once that like 90% of people never touch a dungeon or a raid.
Mm-hmm.
So, and granted, that takes into account every single person who's ever booted up Destiny 2 all the way back to vanilla. And we all know there was a huge influx of players with vanilla. There was another big one when it went free to play. There's people who make Smurf accounts for trials, et cetera, et cetera. So that's still, like, when you take all that in, I think that most players who are playing the game now are invested enough that they're trying out dungeons and raids, but how many of them have had bad LFG experiences? That's what I come back to. I personally do not like using LFG. So I think back to how many people like me have had bad LFG experiences in the past and go, well, I really don't want to take part in this.
Right.
You know, I think this is obviously designed to make that much, much, much more accessible to them, as it should be.
Right.
So,
yeah.
All right.
All right.
Moving right along though, definitely tune back in 2 weeks time. It's so funny that we're going to be talking about this every other week. We're going to be talking about it after it's been up for a week and a half. But it's working out kind of perfectly, I think. That gives me ample time to go check out the dungeons and report back. We have a little bit of stuff here in the Schwab that I want to address. There's a section about heavy metal here. Let's take this opportunity to talk about heavy metal.
Heavy metal.
This mode sucks. I was so excited for Briggs versus Tanks, and this is awful. This is truly an awful way. It's not that bad, but it's pretty bad.
I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of a weird mode.
Oh, I think it's awesome. I love party modes. I think party modes are fantastic and belong in a game like this. It's just this feels so bad. Everybody thinks tanks are overpowered, or they think Briggs are overpowered. I think it's all just bullshit. I think anything I'm playing against, whatever I'm playing against, is overpowered. I'm just gonna say it.
I mean, that's fair.
This mode, it was fun for about 3 matches. It was really fun rolling as a 3-stack. I didn't really care if I was winning or losing then. But I played this mode with some people who are pretty into Crucible as opposed to me, and holy shit. They got so into this. I will say, I don't think that Trials needed to die for this. I think you could have easily had Trials up at the same time as this event. I saw people getting upset that this is up for a whole week, and it's like, yeah, they're promoting a new mode. They brought a heavy metal seal along with it, and this seal looks tight as hell. I don't care. This seal looks awesome. I love it.
Josh is all about the seals.
I'm all about the seals. Oh, dude, I got a whole stack of them in the mail today. It's great.
Oh, man. Oh, my gosh.
I got like 6 seals in the mail today that I had been waiting all year to order. And then Bungie let me add them all to cart at once, so I took advantage of them only charging me shipping one time.
Josh is going to rule the world when pins become the new currency of the world after the apocalypse.
That's true. I've got a lot of Disneyland ones. All joking aside, though, this event was just not very fun. It was not very enjoyable. Getting the seal wasn't that hard. Like, it's not even about like how difficult getting the seal was. The combat sparrow it's goofy. It's definitely not as fun as surfboards.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say this: hoverboards, way more fun. Way cooler that we get hoverboards. I did enjoy watching clips of people one-phasing Templar with the combat sparrows. I thought that was interesting, but I feel like combat sparrows would have been more interesting if they had come out like 3 or 4 years ago. Like if that was the first non-normal sparrow thing that we got. I think that would have been a lot cooler. Instead, I mean, we got hoverboards, and that's just so far and away the best thing that they've given us.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's cool. Like, I like the idea.
I'll always take more vehicles in the vehicle slot.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But overall, like, man, this is something that I'm just going to be real. If this shows up in the rotator, I'm not touching it.
I mean, that's also fair.
I'll play it if there's like seasonal challenges that I have to do for it, but I got my seal. I have no intention of ever touching this mode again unless I have to. It was fun, but it was fun a little bit, but just like overall, man, PvP just is not fun right now. I think that's ultimately comes down to just not having fun in anything. And there were already cheaters within a half hour of it coming out. There were already cheaters in the Steam pools. People were spawning Briggs into normal Crucible, Corey.
Shocking.
Yeah, big shocker there. So, Trials ranks are increased this weekend. I know if you're listening to this, you probably don't care. Not that you don't care about Trials, but you probably already know this. Increased Trials of Osiris ranks tomorrow. The map is Dead Cliffs. The weapon is Aisha's Care, and you're also going to get Inquisitor drops, because this is going to work a lot like the Grandmasters have for the last couple weeks, where we were getting the new Heavy 2 burst out of that to drop in addition to whatever Nightfall weapon was dropping for the week. That's really cool. I think it's a great idea when you've only got, 2 months left in the season and you're trying to add new drops in. That's cool to me. I do still like that. And these drops also work like if you get an adept drop of one, you're going to get an adept drop of the other. So that's cool. Iron Banner is going to have the same deal starting next Tuesday with the Nature Reclaimed Solar Scout Rifle, which we read the perks on that when they released them. Really excited about that. That's going to be dropping. And I absolutely will be grinding that out because we only have 2 Iron Banners left before the Edge of Fate. We have this one dropping on Tuesday, and then we have one on June 17th that will be dropping. I'm going to be getting all my Iron Bannering in now because I don't know if I'm going to be wanting to play a lot of Destiny leading up to Edge of Fate coming out. I'm hoping to take some time off, take 4 or 5 weeks off leading into that, like I tend to with new seasons. Since I've already got my title for this season, I'm hoping to have my dungeon seal by then also. And if I have that, then I think I'm cooking. I think I'm good to go.
Nice.
Yeah. Need a break. I have played more Destiny in the last 2 months or so than I have since like the time of Into the Light coming out through I don't know, the Encore mission releasing in Echoes. It's the longest stretch that I've like just consistently been logging in multiple times a week to play. And it feels good to be back. Don't get me wrong. It feels really good. The Rite of the 9 stuff is fun. And that's what I'm here for. Like if Rite of the 9 wasn't here, I'd be taking a nice big old break right about now. So I think a lot of us share that same sentiment. It's just, there's just so much to play. We talked about 2 of the big games at the top of the show, but like I've still got Monster Hunter Rise I need to get back to and play some more of. I've got Split Fiction sitting in my library that I haven't started. I've got Avowed to play. I've got the Oblivion remake. I've got Blueprints. Like there's so much. We've got the Switch 2 coming out in 3 weeks. Thank God there's nothing big launching with that. So I don't have to worry about like a Breath of the Wild or a Metroid Prime 4 launching with it. Mario Kart, I'm not exactly worried about getting spoiled on Mario Kart. So we got Showcase season coming up. PAX just ended. There's so much happening right now.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Is that all that we have? That is all that we have for this week's. We did have some stuff in last week's, though, I believe. I want to go back and look at that. Actually, I think we went over most of this last week when we talked about it. It was just really a big fat recap of everything that got announced in the whatchamacallits.
The whatchamacallits.
In the whatchamacallits. So I feel like kind of just chill on that one. For anybody who didn't listen to our last episode, we did do one last Tuesday talking about the Year of Prophecy reveal stream. Of course, that means the Edge of Fate launching on July 15th and Renegades launching on December 2nd. Renegades, which has sparked some controversy in the Tower Casuals offices about do we like this or not. And I gotta admit, man, sleeping on this a little bit and thinking about it over the last week and a half, I've actually gone from being like, oh god, this is gonna be a disaster to, man, I'm actually pretty open-minded about this the more I think about it. The fact that they've had to come out multiple times and reassure me that Boba Fett will not be an NPC has given me a lot of confidence in this.
No, he's gonna be a skin in Eververse.
Oh my god, it's coming. Like that's the worst part is that it's coming. We all know it's coming. Mm-hmm. Like Mando skins are 100% coming to the game when that happens. And I'm gonna hold my fucking nose because I'm getting a story where I get to hunt down Dredgens. I'm hoping that Shin Malphur is here. I'm just gonna hold my fucking nose and not say anything because man, do I have complaints about that. But if it's just ornaments and cosmetics in the game, I will begrudgingly not say anything.
Josh will allow it.
I wouldn't go that far, but I will turn the other cheek. I will look away because so many of you made sure to let me know how excited you are about these armors that we're getting with the collector's edition or the ultimate edition or whatever the fuck they're called now. I'm happy for you. Thrilled even.
I do want to say I did put the Kylo Ren robe on my Warlock.
A1 Johnny has been wearing the Darth Vader chest piece purely because it gives Titans a cape. Meanwhile, I have not touched the General Grievous stuff because the legs just they're a step too far for me. I'm sorry. Yes, it looks great as Grievous armor, but it looks ridiculous as a hunter.
General Grievous, what a dumb character.
I love General Grievous. You shut your whore mouth. I love him. I loved him more when Genny Tartakovsky crushed his lungs to give him an explanation for the wheezing in Revenge of the Sith. It's so great. He let Mace Windu just like force choke him through the chest. It was awesome. It was like the most brutal thing I'd ever seen in a children's cartoon up to that point.
I know, but the fact that like the first time you see him is he's just coughing and then flying out of a starship and climbing back into a window.
They explain why he's coughing.
I
great.
know,
I love it.
After.
No, before. The microsodes came out before.
Oh.
They came out in the weeks leading up to it. Because I remember when we got the initial reveal of General Grievous, it was the wildest thing that I'd ever seen, because you go through like 18, 19, 3-minute episodes of Anakin and Obi-Wan leading the siege of like this planet, and they fight Dirge and Asajj Ventress, who were clearly characters just designed to sell toys. And then the last episode is like a 3-minute horror movie of General Grievous hunting 6 Jedi Knights in the ruins of a battle between clones and droids. And it is just the most terrifying, brutal thing you've ever seen. Like one of the Jedi Knights is like shit talking Grievous, right? And Grievous it gets dark behind him, and you see Grievous's head like pop down behind him. It is the scariest fucking thing that I had ever seen in a children's cartoon. I was like 12 at the time. Yeah, that was not an action figure I was running out to buy right away. Season 2 was cool because we have the clones attack him. And they're like, hey, we need backup. And all of a sudden, a gunship just busts through the side and starts shooting at Grievous without even hesitating. Ah, it's so good. Fucking clone commandos are trying to fight him and can't. It's so fun. The superior Clone Wars, many are saying.
I
might be the only person on the face of the planet who thinks that's the better Star Wars series.
I mean, anything's better than that second movie, so...
It's true. But I maintain that this was great. Also, Anakin gets this weird tattoo that's never ever addressed again. C-3PO, like, shows off that he's gold-plated by, like, dropping his robe like he's a lady of the night. Great. It's C-3PO in Memoirs of a Geisha. It's wild.
Jeez.
It's wild. I absolutely love those. I talk all this shit about that General Grievous, and I have an action figure of him somewhere in storage that is his animated version from that. And it's so cool because you can't like move the limbs at all. He's just like stuck in a fighting pose. It's just how it came. It was like very cheaply produced, but I say all that to say General Grievous should not be the hunter armor, and I don't know why we did this to ourselves.
That's out of all the Star Wars characters, that's
Boba Fett wears a cape. Where's Boba Fett?
I mean, even use that.
Where's Mando? He's got a cape.
I mean, you could have even used that weird bounty hunter at the beginning of the third movie that randomly dies, the shapeshifter. That would have made a better
Zam
hunter.
Wessel?
I don't know.
Yeah, you could have used Zam Wessel from Attack of the Clones. I guess you could have done that.
Oh yeah, I guess it is episode 2.
Half the cool characters wear capes in this series. Where's my Orson Krennic skin? I just finished Andor. Where's Director Krennic as my Destiny skin?
Right. They messed up.
Oh man, Andor, what a good fucking show, dude.
I haven't watched it yet because I've been catching up. I've been catching up on Daredevil.
Phenomenal fucking show. Andor is like the best thing that Star Wars has done in a decade. It's easily the best thing that Disney has put out for it, and I'm not even joking. It is the best Disney Plus series. which is not a high bar to clear, but it's pretty fucking good.
Yeah, I mean,
Daredevil's really good. Don't get me wrong. I went from Daredevil to Andor. I got spoiled, man.
I mean that's fair.
I got spoiled. I'm so happy.
I did make the mistake of going back and rewatching like the entire Defenders Netflix thing.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It gets progressively worse.
Yeah, it does. It started off really high with Daredevil and Jessica Jones, and then it just got worse from there.
Yeah. It's weird. The third season of Daredevil too is not very good.
It's fine. It's not as good as the first two, but it's still better than just about everything else they put out.
Yeah.
We did have a question I wanted to get to tonight.
I will get to Andor soon.
It's so good. It's a must watch, man. It's so good. It made me care about a character that I didn't give two shits about. I'll put it that way.
I mean, I don't think anybody did. I feel like people love Rogue One, but like nobody cares about the characters because spoilers.
They all die.
They all die.
Yeah, my friends got very upset with me when that movie got announced because I was like, they're all just gonna die, right? And they're like, you don't know that. I was like, it's about the theft of the Death Star plans, and none of them are mentioned in canon. They're dead. Like, but canon just got reset a few years ago. I was like, they're not mentioned in canon. They're dead. One does not steal the Death Star plans and then live. So, yeah.
Also, that's the scariest shot of Darth Vader maybe ever at the end, when he's going through the hallway.
It felt gratuitous. It felt unnecessary. It's so antithetical to everything else we ever see of Darth Vader. Although I do love the idea that Andor gives context to that.
Mm-hmm.
And like actually makes that scene like kind of worth it, like story-wise now for me. He's just like, fine, I'll do it myself, essentially, is the attitude he gets by then. I like the idea of just the Emperor just like bitched him out because Krennic was like, I'm still in charge, right? Sure about that? Are we sure about that?
Yeah.
I digress. We have a question, and it is a TV question that we have. It's not a Destiny question tonight.
Ooh.
I have a feeling I'm going to have to answer this one, though, Corey.
I'm 90% guaranteed you're going to have to answer this question.
From Jiggly Panda. Got a bit of a long two-part question for y'all. I've been watching the new season of The Last of Us and have two questions. Corey, I'm going to assume you have not started The Last of Us.
You
do not have HBO.
I don't care about The Last of Us.
That's completely fair. One, how do you think they are handling adapting the second game? I'm going to be real. I watched the first 2 episodes and then haven't watched since. I find it very hard to engage with The Last of Us, not because it's not good, but because I played these games already. I played the first one and I watched a very long playthrough of the second one. I was not in the space mentally to play it when it came out. And by the time I just kind of never went back to it. I think Naughty Dog games are already so cinematic that they don't need a TV show. It just feels really like we're really milking this property at this point to just tell kind of the same story. That being said, I did really love the 2 episodes in season 1 that deviated from the games, that told like the story of people that we never actually meet in the games. The Bill and Frank episode specifically just destroyed me in season 1. That being said, in season 2, I did appreciate some of the context given in specifically episode 2. I think there were some changes that were made really, really well. I think it made a lot more sense for Dina to be there for that scene versus Tommy. For that scene, I'm not going to spoil it for anyone who hasn't seen it or who has not played the games. You probably know the twist already, but I don't want to say it. I thought that made a lot of sense. The more I sit on that, I'm like, yeah, I kind of like this. I'm going to be real. I'm having a difficult time with Bella Ramsey, and it's not that she's not a good actress. It's just that I don't see her as Ellie. That's no disrespect to her at all. She is a I want to be very clear. She's a very, very good actress.
I think that's kind of the consensus, though, right? Is like nobody's denying that she's a good actress, right? Yes. Because she's,
she's the Queen Lyanna Mormont. Come on, man.
I don't know what that means. I don't know what it means.
Lyanna Mormont, Game of Thrones, brother.
Didn't watch that either.
She's great. She's fantastic in Game of Thrones. We love her in Game of Thrones. The King of the North.
The the issue is that she still looks like a little kid,
Yep.
which is fine for the first
It
season.
was perfect for the first season.
But I actually think the actress they picked for oh my gosh, the other girl
for Abby.
Yeah, for Abby, maybe would have been a better
There is
Ellie.
a podcast of me years and years ago, like back in 2016 or something, 2016, 2017, that I'm sure has been lost to time at this point, of me saying that she would make a perfect Ellie if they ever adapted it. And for a long time, when they were talking about doing an adaptation, she was the person they wanted, but they took too long to make it.
Yeah.
That being said, I think she still could have gotten away with it.
Yeah.
Especially because it would have been a little weird for season 1, but in season 2, it would have made a lot more sense.
Yeah, plus like the time shift, right? There's a
5-year
weird
time jump. There's a 5-year time skip. Yep.
Yeah. So like, I don't know. I feel like you could have used some, I don't know, some camera tricks and some makeup to age her down a little bit.
It would have been fine. I'm not gonna lie. It would have been totally fine. The time skip happens before the second season even really begins. So you would have been fine. There's some flashbacks. You would have been fine.
Yeah.
You would have been totally fine. And especially because they've said that second game, obviously, I mean, it's only 7 seasons long or 7 episodes long. It's not going to be adapted in 1 or even 2 seasons. They've said they think it's going to take 3 seasons to tell a story of part 2.
Yeah.
Bonkers to me, but
I assume they want to kind of line up the final season with the third game if there is one.
I don't think I genuinely, truly do not think there is a third one at this point. You know the ending of the second game, right?
Oh yeah, I know.
Yeah, then I don't think you're getting a third game.
See, I think
it defeats the purpose to me.
Oh, to me, I think the ending of the second game requires a third game.
Oh, oof. Ooh,
I think
strong disagreement there.
I think the ending of the second game requires a third game more than the first game required a second game.
Oh, the first one did not require a sequel at all. You are correct. You are correct on that one. I actually don't think the second one deserves or needs one at all because it is a better version of the first game's ending, in my opinion. Just that the cycle of violence begets violence constantly. Somebody has to break the wheel at some point. When it's so funny that like so much focus is given to the zombies in like reviews that I read or like people who haven't played the games, because the zombies, like the clickers, don't actually matter.
Mm-hmm.
They're a vessel for the storytelling of the cordyceps virus, and that's it.
Yeah, and
they actually don't matter,
yeah.
Especially in the second game.
Yeah, and it's not an airborne virus in the show either, right? That's the big change for that.
Yeah, it's fine. I just, if you guys have ever heard me talk about how I feel about game adaptations or about like Naughty Dog in particular, I don't really vibe with it because I don't think they need them. I think Uncharted was terrible. I think the only reason The Last of Us is as good as it is because it's HBO, it's Craig Mazin, and it's Neil Druckmann that are handling it. But the creator being involved doesn't always mean that it's going to be good. So I just
Randy Pitchford was involved in the Borderlands movie.
Well, I mean that. No surprise there. It's so bad. It's like something else Randy Pitchford likes.
It was so bad. It was like magic.
Oh my god, dude! Jesus Christ! Oh, it was COVID's fault. No, I mean, like, obviously this could be way worse, and The Last of Us is still one of the greatest. It is probably the gold standard for a mature video game adaptation. Like, if Sonic is that for families, this is it for adults.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, I kind of feel like this was like you struck lightning in a bottle and you got really lucky with it, because I got to be really, really blunt. I don't think that you're going to have that same amount of success. Like, PlayStation is moving so fast with adapting their properties into shows and movies. Like, you've got, just off the top of my head, they are working on adaptations for God of War, Horizon, Helldivers, Ghost of Tsushima. I think they're doing something with Astrobot, but I don't remember exactly. And I think there's like one other one that they're doing, and it's just like, whoa, we gotta pump the brakes here.
Mm-hmm.
They've already done Uncharted, which was not good.
I liked the Uncharted movie.
God, get the fuck out of here.
I actually really liked it.
Second question from Jiggly Panda. What are your thoughts of them having to defend the actress that plays Abby so she doesn't get attacked and harassed like the voice actor did? It's fucking bullshit. It's fucking bullshit that they have to do this because a bunch of grown-ass men can't behave themselves on the internet.
Wait, they're harassing...
Yes, Caitlin Dever is getting harassment. It's purely because of the character that she plays. It's purely because Abby just exists.
I had to do a double take because there's that story that Neil Druckmann was coaching up the actress that plays the character in the new game they're making, Intergalactic, on internet.
She is also in the Last of Us show, by the way.
Yeah. It surprises me that she is a little bit, but I mean, just in a casual sense, but nothing surprises me because it's the internet. But like, the only criticism in quotes, is that people feel like she's not big enough to play Abby, which is another reason why they feel like she should have played Ellie.
Yeah, I think it's just dumb. Toddy Gabriel is the actress you're thinking of.
Yeah,
that Neil Druckmann is coaching up. She's playing the lead in Intergalactic: The Heretic Prophet.
That game looks sick, by the way.
We'll see how much of that actually makes it into the game. That's all I have to say on that one.
What, Porsche? You don't want to drive a Porsche spaceship?
No, that's the part I'm worried will make it in.
The Sony cassette player.
We've always cautioned about CG trailers, though. Mm-hmm. So, and especially like Naughty Dog games, like can look like one thing in a CG trailer and then be something totally different when you play it. And that's not always a bad thing. Like so many AAA studios do this. Like we had the same conversation about GTA 6 last week on Xbox Casuals.
Yeah.
But to get back to Jiggly Panda's question, it's bullshit. I cannot believe that we're still harassing people in the year of our Lord 2025 because of a character that they are playing in a TV, movie, video game, radio drama, podcast, etc. It's insane. If you are genuinely harassing an actor or an actress because of a character they are playing that was written for them, get help. Seriously, you need actual mental help.
Uh-huh.
This is insane. This is absolutely insane. Like we have seen this so many times over the last 10 years. I always come back to the harassment that BioWare's writers got over the original ending of Mass Effect 3.
Oh, yeah.
As like the start of like the fan entitlement movement. But I mean, it was going back as far as the message boards on Lost. It was happening, you know? And then we saw it happen around Game of Thrones. We saw it happen around Game of Thrones. We saw it happen with, God, Star Wars. I mean, remember when John Boyega was revealed as one of the leads and people freaked out because it was a black stormtrooper, right? They didn't have the same criticism of Oscar Isaac being Poe Dameron. They had criticism of a black stormtrooper. Then we saw everybody freak out over Kelly Marie Tran as Rose in The Last Jedi, and among many other reasons that people freaked out over The Last Jedi, right? Like Daisy Ridley as a Mary Sue, you know, those were great comments. We saw Zendaya in being MJ in the Spider-Man movies. You know, we've seen it with Sam Wilson as Captain America. We saw that with both the comics and with the movies now.
So stupid.
It's so stupid. Like it's fucking dumb. Just if you're complaining about stuff like that, you have nothing else going on in your life.
It must be nice that is your only quote unquote problem in your life.
Yeah, if you're that bothered, like it's one thing to critique somebody's performance. It's another thing to sit here and just like harass.
Yeah.
You know, like we can sit here and say that we don't like we don't like a casting or an interpretation of a character, and that is different than being like, fuck black actors, or fuck women or this and that, fuck Abby, like people are mad about Abby for two reasons. They don't like that apparently men are intimidated by muscular women now, question mark. And two, they don't like her because of a very specific plot twist that involves her. And you know what? get over it.
I mean, first of all, she's made to be a character to not be liked because of what happens in the game, but also
Shit, dude, I feel more
but
sympathy for her by the end of
no,
part 2.
that's what I'm saying is, but
Yeah.
like you play as her and you find out like what really happened,
Yeah.
and you feel like you feel for her, and then you end up realizing that, oh, maybe the end of the first game isn't what you thought it was.
Yep. Yep.
You know, I mean,
I agree.
people,
So,
man.
I'm over it. Bitch. Games and movies and TV shows should not be this dramatic.
They're supposed to be entertaining, not, you're not supposed to complain. And also, hey, Josh, did you know that not everything is for you?
Yeah, also did you know that if you don't like something or agree with it, you don't have to watch it or consume it?
Right. I'm not watching The Last of Us. Oh no.
Oh no, how dare you, Corey?
I know.
It's fine. You guys know how I feel about certain shows that are extremely popular on the internet these days. So
It's all right.
yeah,
I scored 1 point with Josh tonight for playing Expedition 33.
it's true. It's true. Yeah, that's a couple points in my book.
God, that game's fucking awesome.
But no, I've been clear about not liking The Boys or Invincible in the past, you know?
Yeah,
I
don't
mean,
like The Boys
clear
either.
about not caring for those shows, and that's the end of it. I was pretty clear about, like, I liked Deadpool and Wolverine, but I didn't love it like everybody else did. Just Ryan Reynolds is a cheese grater on my nerves. So, like, if he's in something, I'm probably automatically going to be predispositioned to not like it. That's just how it's going to be. But on the other hand, like, I'm going to love my Andor. I'm going to love, I'm going to love Mando. I'm going to love Daredevil. I'm going to go like all these other things. And, just, hey, there's a few things that I just do not care for. I just don't find them amusing. And that's okay. You don't have to love every single piece of art that is, hyped up or that is critically acclaimed or anything like that. Like, my girlfriend does not like Breaking Bad. And I think that Breaking Bad is arguably the greatest show of all time. I have tons of friends who love medieval fantasy, but just who will not engage with Game of Thrones because of the excessive violence, blood, and sexual content. And I will never fault them for that. I totally understand why you would choose not to watch something like that.
I mean,
I get it.
that's why I didn't watch Game of Thrones.
I mean, that's fine.
Or The Boys. Like, it's just the hyper.
I have a lot of friends who won't engage with The Last of Us because it's too bleak for them.
Yeah.
And I did not play the second game because of that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it is what it is. Everybody has different tastes, and I'm very thankful that we largely have a community here that understands and respects that about people. That not everything is for everyone, and we don't, chastise each other over it. All right, there might be some light ribbing here and there, but there's not like, oh my god, it's a fucking travesty that you won't engage with this. Like, I'm not even fazed when Corey tells me he hasn't watched something at this point. Like, if it's a movie that we talk about, he's like, yeah, I haven't seen that. I've never watched that. No, give me something that's been out for 30 years. I'm just, okay, I'm not going to be surprised anymore.
What movie?
We'll just talk about Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
And, like, I don't know, Disneyland corn dog nuggets from Casey's Corner.
Sure, yeah, we could do that.
Those are great things. Trader Sam's is serving breakfast now.
What?
Yeah. Apparently that's a real thing. In case you need a boozy breakfast before going to an amusement park.
I mean,
if you're like me on vacation. Okay, Corey, get us out of here. Let's go. Let's go.
All right. I want to thank everybody out there for watching this episode of Tower Casuals, the Destiny podcast. You can catch us on Fridays on your podcast service of choice or on YouTube. You can follow us on social media at Tower Casuals. Join the Discord. I have heard everyone about the link. The invite link isn't working, so I will be sure to fix that in the proper areas where that's located. Thank you for letting me know. Josh, thank you for your time tonight. As always, you are much appreciated around here.
Oh, thanks, man.
So, And yeah, everybody out there, you're all appreciated. I want to thank you all for watching and or listening. And until next time, we love you. Goodbye.